Careless, soulless, gutless. What else can we say? Oh my word! Today is a bad day, a terrible day. I'm just gutted. I'm not even. I don't even care about the football match in general. I'm just gutted about what's happened and fed up and lost for words. Really, I've been feeling like this for a long time. I've been down and out for a long time, and I'm trying my best to be positive, but it's really tough right now. Really tough right now to see any positives from any direction when it comes to West Ham right now. You are back with Irons United for our match review of the Burnley game. I'm joined with Matt. Matt, 3-0 to Burnley. Let's just get straight on to the first half. Thoughts on the first half?
So I was at the game, so my perception is different to maybe on the TV. But I thought we were actually the better team in the first half.
Yeah, we were.
We should have come away from that first half with a lead, and when we didn't, you always worried. I don't think they had a shot in the first half at all. We had 2 one-on-ones. We missed an open goal.
We had chances.
The times the play was awkward, which is unfortunately David Moyes. It seems to be a David Moyes team. Like again, we've played a team around us. Well, not around us because Burnley are 7th, but in terms of points, in terms of play style, they're not much different. But we started with one up front.
Yeah.
Hernandez got dropped to the bench again.
And do you know what? I'm just going to go straight to the point. I don't get it. I genuinely just don't understand.
Today, I understood it away at Liverpool, but today I was completely baffled by the decision. Like, I didn't understand.
And do you know what? I'm going to cut you in there because I didn't get it at Liverpool. I don't get it.
Liverpool, the only thing that I could think of was that he was like, "Look, we're going to get." David Moyes, unfortunately, went like unlike Bilic, where Bilic went into every game saying, "Look, we're going to try and win." David Moyes clearly went into that Liverpool game going, "Look, we're going to lose. Let's just try and contain it." And he went, "And if we're going to try and contain it, Hernandez isn't a guy you want on the pitch."
And that worked for him really well, didn't it?
Oh no, that's what I said. It's David Moyes tactic.
It doesn't. It's a David.
I don't understand.
But do you know what, Matt? It's a David Moyes tactic that's exactly the same to Slaven Bilic's tactic. Well, it's the vice versa that gives you the same result. Unfortunately,
it's
for me,
one or the other. Really, it's like either completely attack or completely defend. But it's not made a difference.
Unfortunately for me, it's made absolutely no difference whatsoever. He's made a fatal mistake by not playing Hernandez for the Liverpool game, dropping momentum for a player in the professional game of football or professional game of sport. Is a boo-boo. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter who you're playing. When you've got a player who's scoring goals, you don't drop your striker. You don't do it. I just don't get it. Like it doesn't compute. No other Premier League football team would do that with their striker. Does not matter who they're playing.
No.
Because they would be thinking to themselves, go and score some goals. Go and get a bit more confidence.
Anyone else would be thinking we can try and nick this. If we play well, we can nick it. But David was like, we might nick a draw.
Do you know what? See if the result ended up 4-2, 4-3, and Hernandez bags himself a goal or another 2. Confidence is still there. At least he scored a goal, and it doesn't make sense. And then today he comes into this side, and he just thinks he's got this magnificent trio or whatever players of Lanzini, who's not been at the races for a long time, Arnautovic, who is giving himself. He is fair play. He is our right now Mr. Go-to man of West Ham. He's chasing down the ball, etc. He's creating chances. But, I mean, what? Sorry, you were going to say something. Go for it.
I was going to say, like, I couldn't understand playing Burnley why we didn't start with 2 up front. Like, especially when you saw, like, in the first half, that they didn't have a chance. Like, they had bits of the ball, they had spells of the ball because no, we're not Man City. We're not going to dominate a ball for 45 minutes. But going forward, they didn't offer much. It was long balls, flick-ons, ran out.
Yeah.
Whereas you could see, we were getting to like 25 yards out, and we had nothing.
Yep.
There was no creativity. There was no sharpness. So what you saw was Arnautovic was coming out of the box onto the wing to get the ball, and then he's looking up and going, "Oh, there's no one in the box now because I'm supposed to be in the box."
Yeah.
And it was like right at the end of the first half, Lanzini, I think it was Lanzini, like overlapped Antonio, got to the byline and put this brilliant ball in. And literally there was like 20 yards of space at the back post and there was just no one there. You looked up and it was like there was 4 or 5, 6 Burnley players in the box and it was just Arnautovic at the front post.
And there was a couple of chances in the first half where Antonio had the ball. He was on the wing. He looked up. No one was there. Arnautovic was running into the box. There was 6 Burnley defenders. Arnautovic was in the box himself. I don't know what any fan would expect Antonio to do at that point.
No,
He tried his best. He tried his best to
like,
cross the ball through 6 players to try and get the ball turned out.
It's got to be. You're talking like Beckham accuracy. You'd have to pick out Anatovic there.
And then even at that, I tell you what, there was a couple of chances where the ball slipped off a Burnley defender, and no one was there to finish it, and that's where just for me, do you know what? If I'm Chicharito, I'm off skiing this summer, 100%.
We had,
especially if Moyes is there.
Like half the squad would be gone in the summer even if we stay up. Like I can't fathom half the squad being there.
Yeah.
He had the Anatovic chance, and the people who were sitting around me were saying, "Oh, he should have cut back onto his left foot." Now I saw the replay at half time on the screen, and there was 3 players between him and the goal.
Yeah.
Maybe Anatovic 6 weeks ago probably might have cut back on his left foot, but at the moment it's just like no. Even Anatovic isn't really in form at the moment. Since coming back from his injury, he had a shot, the keeper saved it. He had the Lanzini chance where he shot and he's tried to place it rather than putting power through it, and the keeper saved it. You had a corner. I don't know what happened. It looked like, I think, the Burnley keeper took out his own player and it came to Mario at the far post. He volleyed it straight over the bar.
See, at the end of the day, first half, we had chances, we could have done something. Second half
the second we didn't, you knew it wasn't going to...
The second half came into play, and then bang.
Burnley changed it. They took one of the midfielders off and put Chris Wood on, and all of a sudden they went 2 big blokes up front, and he started causing problems.
What a great goal.
And their first shot on target, goal.
And what a great
Clearly
goal.
And it wasn't even like a shit shot, and there was nothing Hart could have done about it. No. The guy literally buried it in the top corner.
There was one player that could have done something about it though.
From what I heard, it was Ogbonna.
And it was Ogbonna. Ogbonna was unaware of where Chris Wood was. Chris Wood's not fast, and he let Chris Wood get to the ball on the wing. He'd done his whole kind of calamity thing. I'm not just using this as an excuse to tear him apart. I'm literally just talking in football terms. He was gone. He had no idea where Chris Wood was, and then Chris Wood had the chance to put in. No one was marking Barnes, and like you said, Bullet couldn't stop it. But do you know what, Matt? See right now, unfortunately,
look at it though. Like there was no midfielders. Like the thing is, he got to the byline and he held off Ogbonna, and he looked up. And first of all, Collins was expecting it to come to the near post, and then Collins at the last second goes, "Oh shit!" And he looks up and he sees him. I think it was it Barnes or Wood? It was Barnes at the score, wasn't it? And he saw him on the edge of the box, and he looked up and he was like, "Fuck!" So Collins ain't fast. He's thrown himself out there. And it almost made it easy for him to score because it's like, I've got to bend it around Collins. But you looked up and you were like, we're playing 3 in the midfield, and there was no one on the edge of the box. No one was near it.
See, at the end of the day, at that point, the rest of the game didn't really matter because
at that point the game fell apart.
Things off the field took matters into their own hands, and fans were running onto the park. There was fighting with fans and stewards. There was fighting within fans. There was lots of chants. Fans were gathering below the director's box. They were shouting, chanting towards the owners. With fans and stewards, there was fighting fans.
My phone's just turned on. That's not helpful.
Repeating myself.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. My phone just turned off. Unlocked itself.
And it was getting embarrassing. And I tell you what, I'm going to put this message out there to anyone that's run on that park. What are you thinking? You're idiotic. I do not care about your situation, but you are putting things in jeopardy. You're inciting anger. You're inciting all this.
It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
All the problems that we have as a football club right now, you're not helping the situation. But then what I will say is, for the fans to come off the park and then our own fans attack those fans, do you think that's acceptable? Because it's absolutely not. It's absolutely not. So fans, it's the most embarrassing thing that you could have done to our club. And I tell you what, to you fans out there that have done that, not all West Ham fans, to the individuals who have done that today, who have run onto that park, who have fought each other in the stands in front of kids, it's embarrassing, and you're going to cause us a lot of bother for the rest of the season.
See, I'm going to hold my hands up now. I can say it. I left the second that Hart goal went in, the third goal I left. And you messaged me in the chat and you was like, have a look at this picture. And there's a picture of like 8, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids sitting on the Burnley bench. The Burnley bench. Because the Burnley subs were worried about the kids. So they all stood up and pulled the kids over the barrier into the Burnley bench and let them sit on their seats. Like, how embarrassing is that?
Mm. But you know yourself, Matt, the media will jump on everything they possibly can. But I tell you what...
Yeah, but they're right to do so.
Yeah,
normally, I sit there and moan about it, and I say, you see stuff happens, and I'm like, oh yeah, if that was West Ham, you know, the media will over it. Well, today, I can't sit here and defend anything. I can't.
And then, I mean, well, do you know what? I'm not even going to say unfortunately. I've got a season ticket. I've got the opportunity to travel to West Ham this season. I've struggled. I've gone more away than I have at home. I've enjoyed an away day, but it's not been enjoyable whatsoever. And I think to myself, why am I paying all this money to go and watch all this crap that's getting put in front of me? And people then turn around to me and say, "Oh, you're giving up your club." Well, no, I'm not giving up my club. But yeah, I travel thousands of miles every year to go and see my club, and I'm not going to turn up and just watch. It is, for me, it's lies. And do you know what? I'm putting this from top to bottom. My blame has always been stated from top to bottom. My blaming Gold, Sullivan and Brady for making that individual run onto the park, no. Have their passion overspilled and the problem about what's happening at our club stemmed from the decisions they have made? Absolutely. It has gone so far. I don't see at all how we can turn back from this, because we're going to get, whether it's going to be a hefty fine or behind the closed doors situation.
If we're lucky. If we're lucky.
Yeah. There could have been implications. I don't think we'll get the points deduction, but there could be that option as well.
It depends. It depends how strict they want to go, because let's not beat around the bush. You put it in the chat earlier when I was walking back from the game. Like, they've got footage. This isn't like the first time there's been fighting. They can go all the way back
to last year,
to when we moved in.
Yeah.
Not even last year, the year before. Like, yeah. When we moved into that ground, it started. You know, so they've got so much footage. And the thing is as well, we still talk about stewarding. This isn't even the same stewarding company that we had last year. They've changed it. But how long did it take? It wasn't even just the first time. The game got broken up 4 times by people running onto the pitch. And how long did it take for a steward to get on there? I thought all the guys in orange vises were stewards.
Yeah, but
clearly they don't have the licensing to do that, because they all just sat there and you had to wait for the supervisor and the gravies to come on. Do
you know what? There is a part with regards to stewarding with the fans running onto the park, but at the end of the day, Matt, if you want to run onto any football park, you will run onto it. You're going to get on. You are going to get on. It doesn't matter whether you're at the Olympic Stadium, the London Stadium. The issue is it's how they handle situations. And some of the clips I've physically seen today, they haven't handled themselves well at all. Now the media's picked up on the fact that not just the West Ham fans are a problem, the stewards are a problem. And what's happened is there's now a complete and utter divide. In actual fact, it's like there's 3 or 4 massively different opinions in our football club. In actual fact, I don't really know anyone that is pro-board. I can imagine most are pro. When I say there probably is a minority that are pro-board, I could be wrong in mentioning even that.
I think there's probably a minority that, like I was at one point, that said, "Oh, I would give him till the summer." My opinion changed on the last day of the window when they sold Ayew and brought in Hugill for half the money, and I was that for me. At that point, I was done.
I was already gone. I was done a year ago.
You was done before that, yeah.
I was well done.
I know there's a few fans there probably is a few fans that are like, give him till the summer.
But my point is, it's about
summer could be too late.
It's about
we could be the championship next year now.
It's about the negatives.
Summer could be too late.
It's about the against the board, which a lot of the fans are, but it's about how we demonstrate and how we do this against the board. And unfortunately, there's been too much. There's been too many sheep following certain things. This isn't an agenda. Like Irons United, the channel itself, with all the guys that run it, we don't have an agenda out there to be a decision maker for all the fans. I don't want to be a decision maker for all the fans because we're all entitled to our own opinions. Do I think we need groups out there that have that decision to be able to negotiate with the board? Absolutely. Do I believe it belongs to social media? Absolutely not. Because there's so many fans. With social media is a minority compared to the West Ham fans that are out there. That's my opinion. You disagree, you can. I'm more than happy for you to disagree with me, but I'm not going to do it in an aggressive manner. We don't need to do things in an aggressive manner. The issue is there's been too much inciting hate everywhere throughout our club, And as I state to you, Matt, you get into do you know what? You get into an argument with a friend, you can forgive and forget. We love West Ham, but the issue is you can also hate a friend. And right now, I'm starting to get that kind of like, they're always in my heart, but I hate them.
So
right
it's
now.
the love hate. The love hate's
Yeah,
coming out.
I genuinely am hating everything about it.
It is getting to the point where I don't look forward. Like, I know I'm like Dan. I watch all the Premier League, but it's at the point now where I don't get excited on a match day. Like, I come out of the game today and I wasn't even pissed off. I wasn't angry. I wasn't annoyed. It was just like, oh yeah, we lost again. But next game. But it shouldn't be like that. I should be like, I should be emotional. Like,
gutted.
There was no emotion in my body when I came out of that stadium. Yeah. Like the second that first goal went in, it was just like, oh, here we go again. And then I'll be honest, I laughed when the third goal went in. I laughed because I'd been sitting there literally before that goal went in. I'd been sitting there. The first goal went in. The second goal, we had all the protests, and it clearly affected the players. They went straight down the other end, cut it back and scored again. And you were like, they've had 2 shots on target, 2 goals. Yeah. But I sat there and said, you know what? For all that's happened, the one guy I wouldn't put any blame on was Joe Hart. I was like, because the 2 goals, there was absolutely nothing he could do about it. And then right on cue, I mean, you could argue that he was distracted because a lot of the players were distracted. I think it was quite clear in the last 10 minutes they were almost playing like a training game.
Well, to
and
be honest,
both sets of teams wanted to get off the pitch.
To be honest, it
does. But right on cue, that shot come in, and it was an easy grab. And I texted in the chat when it went in. I said, "Is that Joe Hart's World Cup chance slipping through his fingers?" Because the ball literally hit him, and he just spilt it.
And I stated to you, Matt, and I said I'm saying it now. I'll say it publicly. The players' heads were not focused on that game.
No, they were gone. They clearly were.
They were gone because the confrontation between Mark Noble and a fan, the confrontation between James Collins and a fan, the fans running onto the park, the issues off the park, the board were getting pelters. And do you know what, Matt?
Their heads were nowhere near in the game.
Matt,
their heads weren't in the game anymore.
I stated this to my dad. I have absolutely no problem with the fans singing towards the board because the board deserve it. And even potentially, in my opinion, the way the fans sang it to the board, they're standing... whatever, I don't know. Like, that's not my biggest issue. The fans crossing the park was the issue. Because
that was the thing.
I would have probably struggled not to have been one of those people singing at the board or shouting at the board.
Oh, singing or shouting at the board. That is the way. The only way they're going to listen is if you've got 50,000 people on a match day on TV singing "Sack the Board" in a home game. They've been doing it away games for like all season. I remember like when Moyes' first game at Watford, there was a chance of "Sack the Board" that you could hear on TV. But it's different when you've got 3,000 people doing it at an away game to 50,000 people doing it at a home game.
Yeah.
But those 5-6 guys that have gone on the pitch because they've lost their head, they've gone emotional, they won't get in that stadium again. Like they'll probably get banned for life.
What I'm worried about, I think, more than anything, is the fact that even if those guys do get a ban for life and whatever, there's going to be a lot of people like where do we move forward from here? How do we move forward from here? We have to first of all wait and see what happens at West Ham do. We have to second of all wait and see what happens at Premier League do. Then the Metropolitan Police will get involved. There's going to be a massive investigation into this. We're going to get something's going to happen to West Ham because of this. The worst thing that could happen would be points deduction. The second worst thing that could happen, or maybe the joint worst thing that could happen, could be play behind closed doors. Either way, it's bad PR for West Ham, full stop. And that's all West Ham is right now. It's bad PR. And
we never get any good PR, especially when you think about this was supposed to be about Bobby Moore today.
And they
had all that build up before the game.
But you run
I remember I was quite amazed. They had they did the thing on the East Stand with the Moore 6 with all the fans. They gave them all the coloured T-shirt or whatever, and they had all the flags out, and they had the memorial out like I think most of the week. And we should be sitting here talking about that.
Yeah, but we can't It's gone too far, and it's gone too far. And for me personally, there is only 3 people we can blame here. We can blame more for people running onto the park.
I blame 2.
I
blame 2.
Well, I know what you mean about the David goal, but at the end of the day,
I wouldn't blame him.
He's still a decision maker. He's still got something to say.
Is he? Because we had that debate about.
He must be.
The only reason I say it is we had that whole thing with Jose Font, didn't we? And I'll happy say it on here. One of the guys from Irons United was down at the training ground because he goes normally once a week to get signatures. And he spoke to David Gold the day before Font was sold, and he said to him, "Oh, it's saying on Sky Sports that Font's getting sold." And David Gold was adamant that he had no idea about it, and he was like, "No, Font's going nowhere."
Yeah.
He was like, why did we sell him now? That's stupid. And the next day, Font went.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, I don't think he has any decisions. I don't think he does. I think Sullivan makes all of them.
Well, see, to be honest,
and it's now coming back to bite him on the arse.
For me personally, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to believe, but for me, the blame falls on the three: Gold, Sullivan, and Brady. They can't take a club any further. I've thought about this I've thought this way maybe over a year now. They can't take this club any further than what. Well, they've if anything, they've taken us back. And a good comment. Well, not a good comment. Probably not a nice comment. But my dad phoned me up and he went, "Son, this reminds me of the late '60s. This West Ham reminds me of the late '60s." And that's not a good comment you want to hear. Not the successful West Ham, the negative West Ham.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a comment that said that was like...
off the field, West Ham.
Someone said this was the worst day we've had since the pitch invasion against Terry Brown for the bond scheme. They were like, that's how bad this has gotten.
What I worry about, though, Matt, is this is like a snowball effect.
It's going to get worse, isn't it? Like,
I can't see how it's going to get easier. I can't even see... If
I was them now, I would look to sell it.
All a victory is going to do is just going to delay the inevitable before the next loss. Because if the game is turned that way at home, what's the next away game going to get like? The next away game is just going to, for me personally, is going to blow up. The next home game, if we're even going to have fans there.
I doubt we will.
And if we don't have fans there, are they going to turn up to the stadium anyway? What's going to happen?
I might do. We'll just stand around outside.
What's going to happen outside? Do you know what I mean? It's just a disaster. What would I do if I was the board right now? What would I do? What would? This is not what I'm saying. Ideally, what would I do if I was the board right now? I own a business. If I own a business that's been successful and I can earn money from it immediately, if I can if I can walk out of this as a multi-millionaire right now, like hand back, like get all my assets back, earn extra money with the current situation at our football club, I would probably, knowing that there's no really way to save it, like save the situation. We're potentially about to be relegated. Let's come to the real shit in here now. We're about to potentially get relegated. I can't see any way coming back from it. But obviously, we don't know that answer. Obviously, there are bad teams there.
We're lucky. We're just lucky that there's no other.
But currently, Southampton.
Currently, we're sitting outside the bottom three.
Southampton,
about a point, I think.
Southampton, Newcastle, even West Brom haven't got the off the field issues that we do. 2 of the goals conceded today came from off the field issues. And if they continue, we're going to continue to lose games. And I can't see how they're not going to continue.
See, that's why I didn't want to. This is why I didn't want the march in the first place. I was like, I didn't want the on the field stuff. Like, even the people today that wanted to get on the pitch, do it at full time. Have the everyone singing the sack the ball chants, and if you want to get on the pitch and have a moan, do it at full time. If we've won or lost, then fine. But doing it at the time they did it didn't help the game in any way, shape, or form. Like, it literally hindered the game.
Yeah.
Where's it going to go? If I was the board, the first thing I'd do is I'd get everyone that did infighting, get them all banned, give it to the FA, try and save face that we don't get points deduction. I'd then concentrate on keeping us up, and then if they don't announce it soon, I'd announce it in summer, I'd sell it. I'd move on.
I tell you what, though, Matt.
I think
at the end of the day,
there's no way back now.
Imagine us staying up. Imagine we stay up. What have
for them? That's the best time for them to sell it.
Yeah,
that would be the best time for them to sell it.
But moving forward, if they didn't sell it, what's it going to do? Go down, stay up? No one's gonna go for the boards. They're not going to invest the money that team needs. That team needs an overhaul.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that they could do.
Overhaul.
And even that, I don't know if that'd be enough. Like
60 million.
If we stayed up,
60 million.
They need to go.
Matt, ask you this question: 60 million or 100 million pounds? Either way, that's not enough.
That's what I say. The only way they'd get anyone back on side if they spent 120 million plus in the summer.
Yeah.
And they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
How many more times are we going to say, as West Ham fans, we need to go down to clear out the deadwood? We need to get rid of the deadwood. How many seasons consecutively do we say that? It's just
stupid. Like, it goes down to Sullivan and his inability to buy players. I made the joke. I can't remember when I did it. It might have been like Charles Deadline Day. I made the joke that David Sullivan runs the West Ham club like he's on Football Manager.
Yeah.
When you do Football Manager and you're like, oh, instead of loading up all the leagues, if you've got like a crap computer, you go, oh, I'm just going to load up the English, the Italian, the Spanish, and the French league. I load up the 4 main leagues. Anything else, you can look at the players, but you can't buy them. Because if they're not in one of them leagues, he's not interested.
Matt,
Like even that guy at Palace, was it Sorloth? The guy they brought in, I don't know where they got him from. He weren't exactly a mate like a big league.
Yeah.
And he looks like a decent player.
And do you know what, mate? Another thing, I'm sorry, I know I'm going back to it, but I've got a son. I want to take him to West Ham. I'm not taking him near that right now. So
I wouldn't.
That's an absolute.
I'm lucky enough
Like,
that I don't have kids because I wouldn't want to take a kid anywhere near that.
Why would I want to even take a kid? Why would those kids today want to go back to that? And this is where West Ham. This is where the owners have got to come out, and do you know what? What's going to happen is this is what's going to happen. This is what I predict is going to happen, because I predicted earlier in the preview or the review beforehand that Hart was going to come back into the team, etc. All that kind of stuff. What is going to happen is West Ham are going to come out and they're going to ban a lot of the fans.
Yep.
That's going to raise tensions even further. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm just saying this is what's going to happen. The Met Police are going to get involved, and there's going to be a couple of arrests looking back on the videos. That's going to lead to more bans from West Ham. Then the Premier League are going to get involved, and West Ham's going to get either a fine and probably some form of punishment in terms of fans not turning up to the stadium. And then it's just bringing a PR disaster to our club. And then where do we go from there? Nowhere. I don't want to take my son to West Ham right now. And it's my passion. It's everything I love. It has an effect on your day. It has an effect on your night. It has an effect on your week. Then all we're going to hear now.
It used to. That doesn't bother me anymore. Like I'm just numb to it. It doesn't bother me.
All we're going to get this week now on media. We've got 3 weeks off. West Ham.
That's the only thing we're
West Ham
lucky for.
are off to Miami. They're off to Miami. Just want to let you know. Welcome to Miami. And we're sitting at home dealing with all these issues that the club. We're going to be listening to TalkSport. We're going to listen to Sky Sports News, Sky News, BBC News, and everyone's going to be ripping into us. I tell you what, Matt. People who are not West Ham fans from the last game at Upton Park remember a couple of things. They remember the bus getting smashed up and the De Gea incident with the bottles getting thrown on the park. People don't remember West Ham beating Chelsea. They remember West Ham fans and Chelsea fans fighting each other. People remember all these issues who aren't West Ham, and this is what's happening. And this is what I'm fearful of the modern West Ham, and I don't want it anymore. But anyway, listen, I know I've ranted a lot. I've had to rant. I don't know what else to go. I don't know what else to do.
It was almost worth the march happening, like in retrospect, because I don't know if what would happen today would have happened. Not necessarily on the stuff on the pitch, but off the pitch. Would that have happened as much if they'd had their march today?
At the end of the day, Matt, that's something we'll never know. We will never know. And if anything, I can predict new groups starting up, people want to march. I don't even know what's happening at our club anymore. I'm absolutely done. I'm not done with West Ham. I'm done with the whole situation. Why do I want to make the effort to come see them?
He said it's a PR nightmare, and it's been an absolute embarrassment. Again, it's the few that have ruined it for the many. Now, the second the ball chance that's fine. It's like you're entitled to air your opinion. But like a bloke going on the pitch, grabbing the corner flag and fucking waving it about. Like, what did he hope to achieve?
But at the end of the day, let's go back to the players. It's gutless performances at the same time. It's players not showing the determination, the passion that we want. Teams like Newcastle, who are struggling, have just thrown out and brought out a performance of 3-0 today. Now, I get it. Like, we're capable of it. But, Matt, at the end of the day, we've conceded... What is that now? 11 goals in 3 games again?
3 games. Yeah.
Like, look at the progression that we made. Was it progression? And now we've just gone back to square one where we're just conceding left, right and centre. Of which I would say today, West Ham fans scored 2 own goals today against our club.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the second the protests on the pitch started, the players never settled again. The only person that seemed to care when they scored was Collins. When that first goal went in, Collins was absolutely fucking livid. He was laying on the floor, punching the floor. And then you saw people like Bonner just standing around like, oh, it's this again.
Well,
when the game finished, everyone sort of clapped and went off. Arnautovic stood in that centre circle for 5 minutes. And he looked like he was crying. And then he walked over and gave a little kid his boots.
And to add matters worse things, you look at the images of Sir Trevor Brooken sitting in the director's box himself.
On his own.
On his own, he looks upset. and he's got every right to be upset. But I tell you what, I take him right now for the last 8 games. I would take him. I'd take anything. But do you know what? Don't know what's going to happen. Listen, Matt, we could go on all night about this. We'll you can probably see. I mean, I don't know where to go. I'm not my usual self. It's really tough. I'm really struggling. I'm struggling to even think to myself, what games am I going to go to for the rest of the season? Home or away? Like I just don't. I don't know where I'm at, and I'm thinking, season ticket renewals are up. Why would I want to renew my season ticket? Why?
What? See, what I don't get as well. I said this before. This confuses me. Is why have they put out season ticket renewals now when we don't know what league we're going to be in next year? Like,
Matt, you know the answer. You know the answer.
Yeah, but surely they're going to charge less. Surely they're not going to sit there and say the guy sitting in the 1966 seats has still got to pay what £1,300 or whatever.
Mate, they don't
when
care.
we're in the championship.
They don't care. They don't care.
Right?
They don't care. There's no business sense whatsoever. Do you know what? We've got 3 weeks now. Is it? No. When is it? When's the next game?
It is 3 weeks. 31st. 31st is the next game, and that's home to Southampton.
We've got 3 weeks. So there's going to be there's going to be a
the
few.
funny thing is, this Miami is actually not a bad thing for the team because, like,
do you know what?
They need to get away from it. If we actually look,
Matt, I couldn't care less if they went to.
They don't deserve it.
I couldn't care less if they went to fucking Butlins. I don't give 2 shits that these guys are going to Miami.
Oh no,
because
I
tell you what, get away from it. Do what you want. Just as long as you give 110% for our club. They don't even need that. They just need to come and give 110% for our club. But anyway, Matt, we need to finish this because we could go on all night. I tell you what, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, like all that stuff down there below, make sure you do it. Like our stuff. We've got 3 weeks of a break. We'll come back to you with different ideas, different shows, gifts to the Gabs. At the end of the day, don't lose faith in West Ham. But I believe a lot of us have lost faith in the board, and it's inexcusable about their actions. It's inexcusable that fans would run onto the park. It's inexcusable that people would be confrontational with the players. But at the end of the day, for me personally, it starts from the top and works its way down. Anyway, he's been Matt, I've been Anton, and we are West Ham very sad fans and don't watch Match of the Day. Come on, your irons.